Most people think of vines as decoration, something pretty climbing a fence, covering an ugly wall, filling a gap in the yard. But a vine is one of the most efficient food-producing structures in a garden. Pound for pound, square foot for square foot, a well-chosen edible vine outproduces almost any vegetable bed you can plant. The vines I'm about to show you grow fast, produce heavily in their first season, and in most cases will return bigger and more productive every single year without you planting them again. Here's the thing about vines that most gardening advice misses entirely. A vine doesn't compete for ground space. It uses vertical space, fence lines, trellises, pergolas, chain link, old tree trunks, space that is sitting completely unused in almost every yard in North America. Every vertical surface you own is a potential food source you haven't claimed yet. After today, that changes. These 9 vines are the ones I'd plant on an empty fence tomorrow morning if I had to start over from scratch. Number 1, Cucamelon. This is the vine I give to people who say they can't grow anything. It almost refuses to fail. The Cucamelon, also called mouse melon or Mexican sour gherkin, produces grape-sized fruits that look exactly like miniature watermelons and taste like a cucumber with a bright lime tang. The plant is native to Central America, has been cultivated since before colonial times, and produces with a ferocity that will genuinely surprise you. Start seeds indoors 4 to 6 weeks before last frost, and transplant once the soil has warmed. The vines grow 10 to 12 feet long and require almost no attention once established. Pest pressure is remarkably low. Virtually no insects bother them. Disease resistance is exceptional. Here's the number that matters. A single plant grown on a trellis in good conditions produces approximately 100 fruits per season. At a farmer's market, Cucamelons sell for $5 to $8 per half pint. Your packet of seeds costs $2. At the end of the season, the plant develops an underground tuber. In zone 7 and warmer, leave it in the ground. It returns earlier and stronger the following spring. In colder zones, dig the tuber, store it in a cool, dry place over winter, and replant in spring. Year 2, it starts faster. Year 3, it's practically a weed that also tastes incredible. Number 2, Tromboncino Squash. If you have ever lost a zucchini plant to squash vine borers, and if you garden in most of North America, you probably have, this vine is going to change the way you grow squash forever. Tromboncino is an Italian heirloom squash, also called Zucchetta rampicante, that belongs to the Cucurbita moscata family, the same species as butternut squash. And here is the detail that matters. The stem of a Cucurbita moscata is dense and solid all the way through. The squash vine borer, the moth larva that tunnels into zucchini stems and kills, the plant from the inside cannot penetrate it. The stem is simply too woody. While your neighbor's zucchini is collapsing in August, a Tromboncino vine is still climbing and producing with 0 borer damage. The vine grows aggressively, up to 30 to 40 feet in a single season. Trained up a fence or trellis, it hangs its fruit in the air where they elongate into a distinctive curved trumpet shape that can grow 2 to 3 feet long. Pick them young and tender and they taste better than any zucchini you've bought from a store. Firmer, slightly sweeter, nuttier. Leave them on the vine longer and the skin hardens into a true winter squash with excellent storage qualities. One plant, 2 completely different harvests depending on when you pick. There's one more detail that I think seals this vine's case. Tromboncino is not sold in grocery stores. The irregular shape makes it impossible to standardize for retail. The only way to eat it is to grow it yourself or know someone who does. That alone is reason enough to put it on your fence this season. Number 3, Malabar Spinach. Regular spinach bolts in heat. It turns bitter, goes to seed, and quits on you right when summer gets serious. Malabar spinach does the exact opposite. This tropical climbing vine thrives in conditions that destroy every other leafy green in your garden. It loves heat, it loves humidity. It grows vigorously in full sun through the hottest weeks of summer and keeps producing until frost arrives. The dark green, heart-shaped leaves taste similar to spinach, peppery, slightly earthy, and hold their texture in cooked dishes far better than true spinach does. Harvestable in approximately 70 days. The key to maximum production is harvesting continuously. Malabar spinach is cut and come again, pick leaves and growing tips regularly, and the vine responds by branching and producing more. The more you harvest, the more it gives you. Research from the University of Florida documents an average yield of 40 kilograms of leaves from a 10 square meter bed over a season. One vine on a trellis can supply a family with leafy greens through the entire summer period, when nothing else will produce them. It doesn't survive frost, so in temperate zones it's grown as an annual. But it self-seeds in warm climates, and seeds are inexpensive everywhere. Start at once, save a few seeds in fall, and the cost is 0 in every subsequent year. Number 4. Scarlet runner bean. Most gardeners who grow scarlet runner beans plant them for the flowers. The flowers are spectacular. Vivid orange scarlet racemes that hummingbirds and pollinators can't leave alone. What most people don't realize is that this vine produces 3 completely different foods at the same time, and it does it in 60 to 75 days. The young pods are eaten like green beans, harvested before the seeds swell. As the pods mature, the seeds inside become shelling beans, large, speckled purple and black, with a rich nutty flavor unlike any common bean. Left to dry fully on the vine, those same seeds become dry beans for long-term storage. One plant, 3 different harvests depending on when you pick it. Scarlet runners also fix nitrogen. Their root systems house bacteria that pull nitrogen from the air and deposit it directly into the soil. Plant them at the base of a trellis, harvest all season, and at the end of the year, chop the spent vines and compost them. The soil underneath is more fertile than when you started. The roots are perennial in zone 7 and warmer. The vine dies back with frost, but the root returns in spring. Even in cold zones, seeds are large, cheap, and germinate reliably. Cost of a packet, under $3. Number 5. Chayote. Chayote is one of the most remarkable plants on this entire list, and almost nobody in North America grows it. Native to Central America, cultivated since Aztec times, every single part of it is edible. The fruits, the young leaves and shoot tips, the seeds, and after a couple of years, the starchy, tuberous roots. One fully established plant produces between 80 and 100 pear-shaped fruits per season, according to the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences. That is not a typo. A single vine, given adequate space and a sturdy trellis, can cover over 30 feet and produce 100 edible fruits between late summer and the first frost. You don't plant a seed, you plant the whole fruit. Buy one chayote from a grocery store for under $1, place it at a slight angle in the soil with the sprouting end just visible, and the vine does the rest. Honest note, first season yields are modest while the plant establishes its root system. By year 2 and 3, a single plant can feed a household. In frost-free zones, it's a true perennial that returns indefinitely. In colder climates, started indoors in late winter to maximize the growing window. The young shoots can be harvested all season long, exactly like asparagus, which means you're getting food even while you wait for the fruit to arrive. This is a good moment. If this kind of content is what you come here for, please subscribe. 1 video a week on plants and systems most people have never heard of that actually produce food. Now let's finish the list. The last 4 are the ones that will really make you think. Number 6. Hyacinth Bean. This vine stops people cold the first time they see it. Dark green foliage, purple tinted stems, deep violet flowers, and seed pods of a vivid, glossy purple that looks almost artificial. Every part of it is edible once properly prepared. Hyacinth bean, Malabar Spinach, has been cultivated in Africa and Asia for over 4,000 years. It grows explosively fast from seed, reaching 10 to 15 feet in a single season with minimal care. Matures in 60 to 90 days. Young leaves are eaten as greens. Immature pods are harvested like green beans. Mature seeds dried for long-term storage are high in protein and widely used in Indian cuisine under the name sem. Important note, mature dried seeds require thorough cooking. A long boil with water changes, which removes cyanogenic glycosides naturally present in the raw bean. Every traditional culture that has eaten this plant for millennia knows this and practices it as a matter of course. Cooked properly, they are nutritious, delicious, and completely safe. Now you know, it fixes nitrogen, tolerates heat, drought, and poor soil that would stress most crops. Plant it in full sun on any vertical surface, water once a week once established, and stand back. Number 7. Groundnut Vine. This is the most historically significant plant on this entire list, and almost no one plants it. Apios americana, the American groundnut, also called hopness or Indian potato, is a native North American perennial vine that produces both edible tubers and edible bean pods. The tubers are nutty flavored, protein-rich, and starchy. Indigenous peoples across the eastern half of North America cultivated and depended on this vine for thousands of years. When early colonial settlements' harvests failed, groundnut tubers kept people alive through multiple winters. That is documented colonial history, not legend. The vine grows 3 to 6 feet, produces fragrant pinkish purple flowers, and develops its tubers underground in a beads on a string formation along shallow runners. Harvest in autumn by gently working through the root zone. The plant returns every single year with no replanting required. It fixes nitrogen, grows in partial shade where most food crops fail, thrives in moist soils, returns food from 2 directions, Beans above ground, tubers below, indefinitely once established. The reason almost no one grows it is simple. It was replaced. When European agriculture took over this continent, centuries of indigenous food, knowledge went with it. The groundnut vine is one of the most productive, lowest maintenance perennial food plants native to North America, and it has been essentially forgotten. Find tubers or seeds from specialty native plant nurseries, plant them once, they return for the rest of your life. Number 8. Passion flower. Passiflora incarnata, called Maypop, is a native North American passion flower, winter hardy to zone 5, that produces an edible fruit most people in North America have never tasted from their own garden, despite it growing wild across the southeastern United States. The fruit ripens in late summer to fall, roughly egg-sized with a yellow-green exterior and a sweet, tangy, tropical pulp that tastes like a cross between guava and citrus. The vine returns reliably every spring, spreads by root runners in good conditions, and gets more productive each year. The flowers, among the most structurally complex produced by any North American plant. Attractive, specialist pollinators that benefit everything else in your garden. The fruit contains flavonoids with documented mild calming properties, which is why passion flower has been used in herbal medicine for centuries. Leaves and flowers are edible and brewed as tea. The seeds are edible. Source a small plant from a native plant nursery. Give it a fence in zones 5 through 9 and it returns every year, spreading slightly wider each season. It asks for almost nothing. What it gives back includes flowers that stop people mid-conversation and fruit that cannot be purchased in any grocery store in North America. Number 9. Akebia. Akebia quinata is sold at almost every garden center as chocolate vine and labeled as an ornamental. Most people who buy it have no idea the fruits are edible. The elongated purple-gray pods ripen in early fall, split open when ripe, and reveal a sweet, translucent white pulp wrapped around black seeds. The flavor is delicate, mildly sweet, and faintly vanilla-like. In Japan, where Akebia has been cultivated for centuries, the fruits are considered a seasonal delicacy and sold at a premium. The young shoots are eaten as a cooked vegetable in early spring. The outer skin of the fruit is stuffed and cooked as a vegetable in traditional Japanese cuisine. 3 different foods from one plant that most North American gardeners walk past in the nursery without a second look. The vine grows 15 to 30 feet in a single season once established. It tolerates partial shade better than almost any other fruiting vine, which makes it ideal for north-facing fences and the shadier parts of a yard where most other vines would struggle. Hardy to zone 4. It produces small, fragrant, reddish-purple flowers in early spring, among the earliest food plant flowers to open in the garden. Honest note on timing. Akebia typically produces its first meaningful fruit crop in year 2 or 3. What it gives you in year 1 is fast, vigorous coverage, and those early flowers. The fruit is worth the wait. And at $8 to $15 at any garden center, sold as an ornamental with no mention of what it actually produces, it is one of the most undervalued purchases you can make at a nursery. Here's the single thread connecting all 9 of these vines. Not one of them needs much from you once established. Not one of them takes up ground space you're already using. Every single one occupies vertical surface that is currently producing nothing. Fence lines, deck railings, arbors, old tree trunks, and turns it into a food source that returns year after year, often requiring less attention in year 5 than it did in year 1. The annual vegetable bed resets every season. You start over, replant, reinvest. A vine, once established, is a permanent food structure. It is the difference between a garden that needs you and a garden that feeds you, whether you're paying attention or not. Start with one, the Cucamelon if you want. Results this summer. The Tromboncino if squash vine borers have beaten you before and you're done losing that fight. The Scarlet runner if you want 3 different harvests from a $2 seed packet. The Groundnut Vine if you want to plant something that will still be producing food long after you're gone. Pick a fence, that's all you need to start. That's it for today. I hope you found something worth planting here, and I'll see you in the next one.